Hi again then guys, and welcome to of course another speed build for Forza Horizon 4, and following on from a couple of Bugatti tunes that I've done recently for both the Chiron and the EB110, of course the next obvious choice is the Veyron Super Sport. Now for those who are wondering, this is, I would say, easily a better car than the Chiron. It's not as powerful, but it is faster. The top speed is higher. I haven't compared the acceleration, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's better for that as well. And for the handling, I would give the Veyron the edge as well. So this is still a car to be reckoned with. Now, as far as the tuning, I've put this tune on my storefront. So you can use the keywords in the description down below, or use my gamer tag to find it. But if you do it yourself, it's pretty simple to tune up something like a Bugatti because there's not a huge amount you can do to it. So drop the weight as much as you can, put the best tyres on it, fit suspension, brakes, those kind of options if they're available. Some cars they are, some cars they aren't. And basically just fully upgrade everything to racing spec. Now I've left the stock wheels on there because I like the look of them, but you could put other ones on, of course, if you want to. And I would not recommend fitting the front or the rear wing unless you want to put it up into Class X. So of course that's down to you if you want to do that. Now, for the benchmark, 2.1 to 60, 4.3 to 100, 271 flat out according to the benchmark, so that's already quicker than my Chiron tune, at least on paper, but of course in a second we'll find out how quick it actually is. Now as far as the gearbox, I'd recommend a final drive of 2.7, then for the individual gears 3.2, 2.25, 1.7, 1.33, 1.08, 0.9 and 0.77. Of course it is all-wheel drive, so we've got neutral camber, neutral toe. I've gone for 4 degrees of caster, anti-roll on 25 and 35, the springs on 130, 170, and then I've opted for, not too surprisingly, the lowest ride height on the front and the back. For the dampers, 11, 14, 5 and 6. Of course the aero doesn't apply. And for the diff, I would recommend 100% on everything because it is a pretty heavy car through corners naturally, and I've gone for a 70% rear bias. So you've still got great off-road ability, it's great for launch off the line, it's actually still a very good drifter despite the fact that you've got 30% still going to the front end, but I would say that it easily has better handling than either the EB110 or the Chiron. The Chiron is surprisingly slippery and the EB110 is fairly heavy through corners. So this one, and this is one of the only occasions where I'll say it, the Veyron actually has the best handling of the three. Now, the handling is way better than you'd ever think it could be, because of course these tunes aren't just about speed, they are speed tunes, but I always like to make the handling good as well. So as I said, it is on my storefront if you want to grab it quickly, but all that remains is, as we always do, to put it in a race to see how quick it can go. Now, of course, the great thing about a Veyron is always the straight line speed, but in a similar way to a muscle car, it's not usually the best through corners, especially when you're going quickly. It becomes very, very heavy on the steering, but as you can see from when I take the corner in this video, you do have to slow down a little bit, but it still takes a pretty tight corner for that kind of speed at over 250 miles per hour. So that's not bad at all. The handling is so much better than you're expecting it to be, trust me on that. And I would actually recommend this probably the most of all of the Bugattis in the game in terms of its all-round ability. The EB110 is the fastest, and it is the cheaper option of the three, but the Veyron could still beat it under most circumstances because of the mix of the acceleration and the handling as well. So if you are a Veyron fan, I think you'll love this tune. You can do 272 with it, you're bouncing around on the red line, so you could even extend the last gear if you wanted to. But that's it for this tune. Click here on screen to see all of my others, and of course check out my storefront in the game as well. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.